Afternoon, everybody. I'm Lindsay, the Cheshire Stitcher. Welcome back. Long time no see. I'll explain in a minute about that. Today is Sunday, the 28th of January 2024, and this is Flosstube number 10. Made it to double figures at last. Well, hey. I've got some finishes for you today. I've got some PhDs to share, and I've got some new starts and a little bit of all. So the reason that this has been so long in coming, about 4 weeks, when I should have filmed a couple of weeks back, my partner was on his road with 4 days off, and it's just not worth trying to record when he's about, because number one, he'd be sat here beside me, so, and he wouldn't be impressed by that. And besides, I use that seat to put all my things on. And if he'd have gone outside to do any jobs, you can guarantee he'd have been, can you come here a minute, love? I need your hand, I need your help. And so it just wasn't worth the mucking around it would have taken. And then last Sunday was the day before the first anniversary of my mum's passing, and my head was just not in it. The week before, my mental health just went downhill gradually. But once Monday was done, I got up on Tuesday morning and I felt lighter, like a weight's been lifted. So hopefully now I can start to come to terms with things much, I want to say easier, but that's not the right word. Never mind. Anyway, you don't want to hear me going on and waffling about that. Bit depressing, but it is what it is. So today I have got some finishes. I've got some PhDs. I've got some new starts, and I've got a bit of haul. So here we go. So let's start off with the finishes. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous, really. So my first finish is my dragon. I finished my dragon. This is Raphael by Amuse Ink. And there you go. If I sort of move him back and two like that, you can see how much he glitters and shimmers. He's been an absolute joy to do. And yes, he's got eyes, and I don't like doing faces, but I'm okay with animal faces. It's people faces I don't like. So he's finished. He's got a 2023 charm on this one, on this top of this horn, and a hanging thread on this one, waiting for 24 charms to arrive so I can attach them, because I quite literally finished one half in 2023 and one half in 2024. So he's designed to be a necklace. I'm not going to do that. He's either going to end up in a frame or on a box top. I haven't decided which yet. Watch this space. My other finish was this. As you can see, obviously, it's a Triceratops. This was my second new start of the year, and it's my first finish of the year, and it's quite obviously for love quilts. The design is from Claire at Climbing Goat Designs. She's got a whole range of dinosaurs, so I'll put the link down below for you. Go and take a look. She's got some fantastic designs. And if you're into, oh, sorry, Christmas present. That was a Christmas present. You didn't need to see that. Yeah, she's got some fantastic designs. And there is a current stitch along that she started for dragons. Field guide, something like that. I can't remember what. Something I'd dearly love to do, but I'm not going to because I've got far too much to do at the moment. So, but yeah, as I say, I'll put a link down below for you. Go and take a look. She's got some beautiful stuff. She's also got a Flosstube. Now, this is a previous beading finish. When my dad passed, I was working on a big project. Not a huge project. It was a Christmas design that I was doing, and that really helped me those first few weeks to get through those first few weeks. So because we knew Mum's time was nearly up, I wanted to start a biggish project because one had helped me so much in those first few weeks. So I wanted to start one for my mum. Not for my mum, for me, to help me deal with my mum's going. So I started this. This is the hippie trinket box. I can't remember. I should have checked on the name of the pattern before I decided to show it to you. It's a box. There we go. That's the side, and that's the back. It never occurred to me at the time. Only when I picked it up to show it to you, I should have put Mum there. But it just never occurred to me at the time. I used the call for, take your teeth out, woman, called for colours for this, and the main body, and the roof, and the windows, and the door frames. All the big bits of colour I use the call for colours. All these, the little flowers, the little hearts, all of those bits and pieces, those musical notes up there, all of those bits were, what do I fancy using? Let's have a look, see what I've got. And a lot of them were from my mum's stash, because she was a beader as well. So I used lots and lots of little bits and pieces. So you see on this side I've got this yellow, there's quite a bit because my mum loved yellow, and there wasn't a huge amount left, and I kind of worked out that once I'd done this bit and I'd done this and this centre, I then counted the beads and made sure that there was enough to do the flower and little things like that. I did that all over every time I picked. The windows they were done in the correct colour. I think the glue's discoloured from sticking the lacy stiff stuff inside. And then on the base, it should have all been done in this. And I thought, that's going to be really boring. Absolutely mind-numbingly boring to do row after row after row after row. So what I did was I charted on the graph, because they gave you a graph for it, you could do anything you liked. I charted out, I worked out 2023, and then used bead soup, which basically means when you, excuse me, got an itch, when you finish a project and you've got a few left over, you stick them in a tub. Or you've had to unpick a project and they're all very similar colours and you can't figure them out, or the cat walks over it, or the kids pull it over, or anything like that, where they all get mixed up. You just put them in a tub and use them for whatever you like. So I decided to do my base as bead soup, because it used up a lot of that I had, and it wasn't boring for me to just keep doing this. Can you imagine all of that done in that would just have been mind-numbing, really. So it's designed to be a little box, or you can put two bits there and some sort of somewhere around here and make it into a bag, but I chose to make it into a box. So As you can see, it's fully lined. This is Lace's Stiff Stuff. And as I say, I think it's the glue's discoloured and changed the colour of the windows, unfortunately, but it's too late now. There's not a lot I can do about that. It's over and done with. It's finished. So, those are my finishes. I just thought I'd share that one with you because that's got a special place in my heart, that box has. So, on to my PhDs. I have worked on, not for very much, but it still had some love, Flea Market Flowers. Last time you saw it. I will get round to getting a board that doesn't unbalance because it's got a big clip on the top. Last time you saw it, I just got the outside of this one done. So I sat and started the inside of the flower at some point. It was one Friday evening. Couldn't tell you which one, but I know it was a Friday evening. Oh, actually, it would have been the Friday night that my partner finished for his 4-day long weekend off. Only because he lets his hair down that day and goes upstairs, plays with his decks, DJ decks, and I get left in peace for an evening. So I fancied working on this, so that's what I did. So it was that Friday evening. So that would have been what, the 11th, something like that. I couldn't normally tell you what day I worked on something, but that's it overall. I'm over halfway now. I would like to get this finished this year, so it'll probably just keep coming out once in a while and getting some love. I've also worked on St. George, my first long dog. That way round you go. There we go. The fabric is Blue Lace Agate by Sparklies, and I am using a Paintbox Threads silk. I'm doing it 2 over 2. It's on 36 count. I did try over 1, but I wasn't happy with the coverage, so I'm using 2. Last time you saw it, I had that square and that done. So I've done all of this. And again, I can remember don't remember when I did it, but I can remember what I was doing. I was working on this while we watched Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. I say normally I wouldn't be able to tell you what I was watching, what day it was. I couldn't tell you what day it was, but that was yeah, we were watching Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. I don't know how well I'm going to get on with this. This is my first long dog. Amanda over at Alba Stitcher started off my first long dog hashtag, so I decided I would join in. I know there's a few others. Stitchy Sally's one of them, but I can't remember any of the others. I know I remember Sally because it was Sally that I found out about it from, and I've known Sally for a long time, so there we go. So yeah, that's my oh, there's also a let's get the dogs out Sal Ellie Welly Stitcher, so I'll put those down below, so you'll be able to go and investigate. That's that one. And then the wolf also got a bit of attention one day, or 2 days, or 3 days, whatever, I can't remember. Slept since then. I did all of this yellow, and I've done all of this down here. I can't remember if I've done that, but I know I came around and I filled this in. This is a Caterpillar cross stitch subscription box. always forget to get this out every time. So that's what it looks like when it's done. The kit came with pink Ada. Well, number one, I don't do pink. Number two, I don't do Ada unless it's love quilts. And it's a gift for my eldest daughter's partner. So it was supposed to be for either his Christmas or birthday gift last year, because his birthday's Boxing Day. So it's going to get finished this year, and it means I'm ahead of the game. Unusual for me, that, but there you go. So that's the wolf. You turn my page over so I know where I'm up to. Done that, I've done that, done that. My other PhD that I've been working on is, of course, my commission piece. You probably can't tell much difference on it, but I've done a lot more of this, having that I've got to restitch. I'm hoping, if all goes to plan, that I can get this finished before the end of the month, this infill finished. I've done quite a lot of this white hat down here. And yes, I've got a hanging thread. But, you know, told you before, I put it down when I put it down, and if I've got a thread, I've got a thread. If you don't like it, tough. It's my stitching. I do what I like. Sorry. But it's just the way it is. I know a lot of people don't like to see a hanging thread, but it doesn't bother me. And it's my work, so I think when I've finished this, to give myself a break from all this pale white and everything, I'm going to come back down to this bottom corner. You see down here, I've started it. There's a lot of green down here, so I might just come back to this just for a change, because constant white does get a bit much. Right, so let's go on to my new starts. Jeanette and I had a chat, as we frequently do. Well, we chat every day, but as we're getting ready to start a new stitch along, we had a chat. Sorry, itchy nose. And it was my turn to pick. We decided that we would put the bear to one side and start the new year, because we were starting sort of the second weekend of January. First weekend of January. We would have a new start, and it was my turn to pick. So I told her about something that was, it was one of those designs, you know, you get those designs every once in a while and you see it and you fall in love with it, and you've got it, you've got everything, you've got your chart, you've got all your fabric, you've got all your threads and all, and it just doesn't matter what you're doing and what you're working on, it talks to you and it's constantly whispering in your ear. This was one of those projects. It's a freebie, which was fantastic. So it was easy enough to work out, because there's only 3 colours in it. And pick fabric, pick threads, and off we went. So we actually started this a couple of days before. We started it on the Thursday. And it's on the hoop because it's going to get worked on again. This is a freebie from Artisy. It's a Union Jack, and I'm a sucker for a Union Jack. And it just was one of those, like I said, it just was constant whisper, 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 whisper. I'd be doing something and it would pop into my head. And as I said to Jeanette, you know, it's not on the list, but how do you fancy starting this? And she's like, oh, yeah. Because she likes Union Jacks as well. So this is a 36 count. I couldn't tell you anything other than that because it came from my stash. I've got a feeling it was a piece that was in my friend that passed away last year. I've got a feeling it was from her stash. I'm nearing the halfway point. centre was here. So not this week, but certainly next week I will reach the halfway point. And I'm loving it. And it's really easy and straightforward to do, and it's all just straight lines. So I switch between the three colours, obviously red, white and blue, because I get fed up of doing red, especially, I mean, these 15 stitches long. This is 30 stitches long. So, you know, after a while you're like, oh God, I'm sick of red. So you have a change. Do a bit of blue or do a bit of white. Like I say, it's 36 count. I am using sulkies. I've got 1147, which I can't buy in a big reel, but I've got 3 of that size. 1071, which you can buy in a big reel, and I have bought in a big reel, but it's vanished because it was sitting on my little table, and Lizzie has decided it would make a good toy, which is a pain in the arse because I need it for another project. So if it doesn't turn up soon, I'm going to have to buy another reel, which is fine because it's a nice neutral creamy colour. It'll get used, it's fine. And my blue is 12.93. 12.93? Yeah, 12.90. Sorry, I haven't got the glasses on. So a nice dark blue. So those are my 3 colours for my flag. I will put a link down below. This is the larger. There was 2 versions of it. This is the slightly larger. There's a slightly smaller one. But there's so many freebies on Artisy. It's wonderful. And like I say, it was constantly niggle in my ear. So I gave up and gave in and bought it. My next new start, I don't have a picture of because I very rarely remember to print them out. It's a rocket ship. Can you tell what it is yet? It's another Love Quilt Square. This is from Stitch Fanatic. Pretty sure I bought it on Etsy. I'll have a look through and leave the link to their shop or their website, but I think it was an Etsy purchase. So it's coming on quite nicely. It would be nice if I could, by the next time I come and talk to everybody, or talk to myself, whichever way you look at it, if I could have this finished and I'm holding up my iPad and going, look, finished it, there you go, that's what it looks like. This is my next Love Quilt Square that I'm doing. It would be nice. We shall see. It's quite a quick, easy stitch, to be fair. This here is the start of a planet. But it's all quite big blocks, as you can see, so it's quite quick to do. And I'm really rather enjoying it. Again, hanging thread. But it's on the back, you can't see, it's fine. So my next new start was my temperature chart. I had to wait for payday to buy the chart, so it was a bit late in starting it. Oh look, what a surprise, it's hexagons. I couldn't be bothered to work out the centre. No, couldn't, that's not right. I couldn't be bothered to work out and count to start it in the corner up here. So I started it over here in the middle and worked my way round with the hexagons. So the design is from number 4 stitch.com, but I bought it on Etsy. Didn't know they had a website, but it was on sale on Etsy, so it's worked out probably around about the same as it would be from their website directly, but I will link to that below. Got the start of a couple of bumblebees, and I'm doing my temperatures going top to bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and etc, etc. And across the bottom there will be a key of all my colours. You know, it was this day was, yeah, I think this was about 6 degrees, 4, 5, 6, something like that. But in years to come, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to go, oh, what way did I count the things? So I've decided I'm just going to put the number, the day of the in each block as I do it, hence the reason I've got that black there all sort of wiggly. Just finish it off. When I've got a few more blocks on it, I will go back and fill them in. And I'm also thinking what I might just do, again, for in the future, for reference for me, I might just put, say here, put a J, and somewhere in here put an F, and so on and so on. Again, my choice. It's not on the chart, it's just something I've decided to do. But I'm loving it. It's just normal DMC. This is 3823, and then this is obviously a variety of different numbers. And this is 30 count Murano. And yes, you did hear me correctly, 30 count. Murano used to be 30 count, and then they discontinued it. Oh, gosh, 10, 15 years ago, they discontinued 30 count. And there was a huge frenzy of buying it up. And I was one of those ones that did that at the time. So this, I've got, I think it's an ice blue. It's either an ice blue or a pale blue, I can't remember. And it was just, I thought, no, perfect colour, and that's what I'm using. So that is my temperature chart. Obviously, I am behind. We were sort of near enough halfway through January before payday hit, and I could buy the chart. So I need to get back to it and start getting it filled in. I have been recording my temperatures each day in my little stitchy diary, where I keep track of everything I stitched on in a day and where I started it and all of that kind of thing. And then I had another new start on Monday. Now, this is a kit, as you can see from the Cross Stitch Guild. Excuse me. Back in November of 2022, I was going to Harrogate, as I do every year, to help Kate out. And my mum said to me, you've got my bank card, this is your budget, buy a Christmas present. Because at this point she was in hospital. So she couldn't get out and order, she couldn't do anything, she couldn't order online or anything like that. So I bought this and 2 others. And I started thinking it would be nice to start one in Mum's memory on first anniversary of her passing. Well, one of the other ones is a huswife, and I thought, I can't be bothered with that. No, not doing that one. The other one is a miniature red sampler. Well, my mum hated red and white together. It's not something she would ever have done. So she would have hated me to start that one. It was always, no, red and white together, it's just too reminiscent of blood on bandages from the First World War. So, no. So it was this one. So what I'm going to do, not fully decided yet, but I am not going to put a token of love, 1824, in the cartouche there. I'm thinking either in loving memory or just putting 1948 to 2023. And then I'm going to do Mum's initials in purple because that was her favourite colour. So, say it was a full kit. Comes with this beautiful Steph Francis silk. Absolutely gorgeous, slightly mottled, and it's such a joy to work with. It really, really is. It's 12 stranded. You only get 3 lengths, but as you can see, they are very long lengths. And it's just such a delight to work with. This floss drop is part of the set I got from Jeanette during our Christmas exchange that we did. You may remember we did an Advent exchange. Jan and I got a set of snowman because she knows I like snowman. And here is how far I've gotten. So I started here with the cartouche, came down, did the bird, and then yesterday, whilst I was at the Yorkshire stitching day, I did the last little bit on his tail and started on the alphabet. This is an Agnes needle minder, one of only a few that I own, and it's on this project. I don't tend to use them, but it's on this project because my mum bought it for me. So he's ever so sparkly. He's got rivers in him. You see it? So that's why I'm using an Agnes one. But that is how far I have gotten so far with it. So it's a very special piece for me, this. I don't know what I'll do when I've finished it. Probably frame it. I'm thinking I'm going to put it in a frame and in the back of the frame, because I know in years to come, you know, we see these antique samplers and we take the backs off. Well, I don't, but you know, the backs get taken off them and there's no information, you know, they know nothing about it. So I'm going to put even if it's just a piece of paper with what it is, why it was started, when it was started, why it's got those dates in it, or why it says in loving memory, or why those letters are in a different gosh, take me teeth out, in a different colour in the back of it, so that in years to come, if, you know, for all I know, 300 years down the line, somebody goes, oh, that's really nice, but why, you know, and they buy it on eBay or whatever. Who knows what's going to happen in the future, but that information is there. I've already done that once with a little stitch that I've got. I can see it over there. You can't see it, obviously, because it's behind you. Over there on my shelf above the radiator. When I turned 50, my girls did 50 gifts for me between Mother's Day and the day before my birthday. And the first one that I got was an envelope, and in it was a chart of my, at the time, 4 grandsons that one of them had done specially for me. And then I got the linen another day, and then I got, throughout the month, I got the threads to stitch it. So I stitched it, and in the back of that it explains that, oh pardon me, that this was a 50th birthday gift off my daughters, and this is the grandsons, because at the time I had 4.5 grandsons, because Kai, the youngest one, was still brewing, shall we say. Right. Next, let me put that over there, because I need this information here. Next up is my last new start, which is the 2024 Quaker flag. I do that every time. I will. There we go. Again, it's a Union Jack, because I'm a sucker for them. It's from Vivsters on Etsy, and she has done so many national flags now. They are popping up almost near enough daily. All different flags. I think the latest one that I've seen is Egypt. So, you know, that's my, so I've made a start on that. I couldn't wait anymore. We were supposed to start, the official start date was Friday. I started on Thursday, couldn't wait anymore. So, here is how far I've gotten. This is 40 count Bluetiful from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. When I was at Cheshire Stitches a couple of weeks ago, she had taken this fabric in particular for somebody else to have a look at, to see if she could, she was starting a long dog and she didn't know she could see 40 count, so she took this fabric along. And I'm sat there, I'm at the same table as them, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, because I'd been struggling to find a fabric that I liked that worked with this pail. And I'm thinking, So when the one had had a look, you can see a bit better there, and she'd opened the packet out and she'd tried a little few stitches in the corner, and I'm like, try a bit of sulky. So she tried a bit of sulky because she'd never used them before anyway, and it was, she only wanted to test stitch. And I'm like, just let me have a look. And my pale one that I'm using for my other Union Jack, I tried it on it because I'm thinking, you know what, I like that. And there we go. So that is that 1071. That big reel that I bought that I can't find because the cats ran off with it. She's a little so-and-so. Oh. Anyway, I am trying out Pattern Keeper with this. Thought I'd give it a go. I'm obviously using the trial version at the moment. And as of today, I have done 969 stitches of 96,670. So I'm at 1%. I just thought I would give it a try because the chart is printed over 6 pages, so it's quite small, and I wasn't struggling to see it. But when I was at Yorkshire Stitches yesterday, I was talking to one of the other ladies that absolutely swears by it. She's doing Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along this year. She did last year's as well, but she was working on this year's, and she had Pattern Keeper app. So I thought, and because I tried downloading Markup XRP or whatever it is called, the one that works on an iPad, but you can't import your own chart. Well, how am I supposed to know if it's going to work for me if I can't import a chart to try? So when she was talking about Pattern Keeper, I thought, well, do you know what? And I asked, can you put your own chart in it to try? And she's like, yeah, oh yeah, free trial. You get a month. Markup XP gives you 2 weeks. This gives you a month. And I thought, well, do you know what? A month is more than enough time for me to decide if I like using it or not. And so far it's okay. It's on my phone, so it's not as, obviously it's only a small screen, but so far it's doing okay. And again, I'm using sulky threads, and excuse the right close up, but you can see just how good the coverage is. And I've done a little bit of each colour. So this one kind of outlines all the diamonds. Obviously I've started in the middle. So I've done my red, I've done my little bit of white, and then I've done the lighter blue, which is the closest match I could find to the call for in sulky. So for this one, I am using 1283 for the light blue, 1035 for the red, 1197 for the darker blue, and as I said, the 1071 that Lizzie's had off with somewhere. It'll turn up. Well, like I say, if it doesn't, then I'll just buy another reel of it. It'll be fine. And I don't think, if by some chance there is a slight variation in colour, it's not going to matter too much, because you've got the dark line around every block. So it should, if it does, like I say, end up being a slightly different colour, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. So that concludes the stitching bit. And I've just realised I didn't say PhD is a potential happy dance. And everybody says whips, but mine are potential happy dances, because we all do a happy dance when we've finished. We might not show it on the outside, but we all do a little happy dance on the inside. So I refer to my projects as potential happy dances. A lot of people call them projects half done, but I don't like that. Potential happy dances. So, onto my little bit of haul. And yes, I know I said I'm going to stitch mainly from my stash this year, and that's every intention. But I needed to order the big reels of sulky, so I went to Wool Warehouse, and while I was there I bought a couple of cut pieces of Murano. So I got, that's the vintage grey, I'm not taking them out of the packets, and that's the sand, I think it was vintage sand, along with my bigger reels of sulky, because I wasn't that far off getting free postage anyway. And I bought one, and then I thought, oh, okay, let's have the other one. So, and then I was watching Amanda, Alba Stitcher, and she'd had an order from 123 Stitch, and she'd bought that, and I thought, I love that. That is just so me. So I thought I'd go on and have a look. Now I have never, well, no, I tell a lie. I have ordered from 123 Stitch, but it was when a beading friend of mine was in the States visiting her son. So I ordered and paid and had it sent to her son for her to bring back for me. So I didn't know if I was going to get hit with customs charges or anything like that. So I thought I'll just do a small, I'll do a small order. So I got that one. And I couldn't not get that. Sunflower. That's, I'm sorry, I should have taken them out of the plastic, but I never thought about that. They're very disorganised today, more so than normal. That's only, well, how big is it? It's only 31 stitches square, so it's not like it's going to be something that's going to take ever more than a day. But it's a sunflower. I have got one chart that they had to send separately because they didn't have it in stock, and it wouldn't have bothered me if they'd sent it all together, but so there's another chart on its way. And that one, unfortunately, is travelling alone. And then I bought that one, because to me it looks like a sunflower. I thought, I like that. And plus, when I ordered, By the Bay were on sale, because you know 123 Stitch just do regular sales on charts, don't they? So I bought that one as well. And then a few days ago, my order that I'd put in with Kate at Harrogate last year came in. Kind of order, anyway, never mind. So you may remember that one thing I bought at Harrogate last year was a sunflower kit by Letty Stitch, and it's on dark blue Ada, and I don't like Ada. So I ordered a piece of that. We had a look through, and that was the best one to do. So that is for the sunflower kit that from, I'm sure it was Letty Stitch. So I'm going to do that on there. And then you may also remember I stitched the sea turtle for her as a model. Excuse me. And she didn't have time to get them made into charts and printed and all of that before Harrogate. So it's not happened until now. So because I stitched the sea turtle, I got a copy of the chart. So, yeah. he was a joy to stitch. Highly recommend him. But also, at the show, she launched a seahorse that she'd stitched herself. So I'm like, right, I'm having one of them. So there's the seahorse. Whether or not I'll ever actually do them, I don't know. But and then the last one that she launched at the show was that one. The pictures on the, just do not do them justice at all. And I know, I mean, Kate told me that I do know who stitched this, but all three of us at roughly the same time made mistakes and had to frog. And if I remember correctly, this one was a lot. Something like a quarter of the design had to be frogged for her. But she is just absolutely stunning, and she's big. She is big. She is, let me see if I can see it, 223 by 333. So she's huge. She's massive. She's 16 by 24 on 28 count. So big. But absolutely stunning. So there we go. So that's it. That's all my haul. All being well, I should be back in a couple of weeks. Unless, let me think, he's off. Just been off. No, I should be fine. Because my partner's just had his 2 days off. So he will work right through now till next Friday. So yeah, in 2 weeks, I should be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully I will have lots of progress again for you. I'm aiming to have all of that dark bit on the commission piece filled in, redone, and my current love quilt square redone. So there we go, we're done for today. I do apologise for it being so long, but it's just the way it is. Life happens. Oh, I forgot. You might remember, I sort of said I'd love to be at 300 subscribers by Christmas. Well, I did it. And it crept up and up and up and up and up. And I'd got to 347. And I'm like, way. And then in the last week, I've had 4 people unsubscribe. And I've no idea why, obviously. But I'm kind of guessing it's because there's been no video from me, so we'll see. So my next sort of little target, and I know it's just me, but it would be nice to get to 500 by Easter. So if you're not already subscribed, that would be wonderful if you could do that for me. And if I do get to 500 by Easter, then I think we'll have a little giveaway. Don't know what yet. And speaking of giveaways, I won one. I know. But I'll tell you about that in the next one, because I'll have received it by then. All right. Oh, sorry, I kicked the table again. Honestly. Should keep my feet still, shouldn't I? Right. I will love you and leave you. Take care of yourselves. And happy stitching. See you soon. Bye.